Hey girl, do you have some very hooded eyes and struggle like crazy to put on winged liner? Oh, me too. So for the last couple of months, I have been really working hard to develop some techniques that I think work super duper well for very hooded eyes. And when I'm saying like, your hoods come all the way down, that's what mine do. So today in this video, I actually wanna show you some of my favorite techniques and the best techniques that you can use for your hooded eyes to get a really nice, crisp liner look. Stay tuned, it's coming your way right now. Well, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here for a bit, if you are new, I'm super pumped that you were here today. My name is Lauren and my channel is all about making beauty easy for the girl who thinks that she can't, both internally and externally. My hope today is that you will consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so that you can get alerts every single time I upload new videos, which is every single Friday, every third Thursday, and every fourth Tuesday of the month. Well, if you're pumped today to learn some techniques for hooded eyes regarding winged eyeliner, because I feel like that is my biggest makeup challenge in my life, then go ahead and hit that thumbs up button because that is exactly what we are talking about today. And before I roll into it, I just want to let you know that if you have hooded eyes and this is a struggle, you're not alone. I do this professionally and I feel like eyeliner is just one of those things that I suck at some days. Some days I'm Amy Winehouse, and then some days I have the most crisp, beautiful, straight, perfect lines, and that's really hard for me to create on just like an everyday basis. So what I did is I have really been playing around with eyeliner lately, and I wanted to show you some techniques that are working flawlessly for me in hopes that you can actually make it work for your hooded eyes. Now, the disclaimer here is this. If you have hooded eyes, I think you probably know this by now, but everybody's hooded eyes or eye shape anyway is different. Mine are really hooded and they're also uneven. So my right eye has more hood than my left eye. This is my challenge eye. And in today's makeup, my left eye became my challenge eye, which is weird. It just happens like that sometimes. So keep in mind that you're gonna have to practice. That's the first thing. And that your results might look just a wee bit different if your eyes are a different shape of hooded, if that makes sense, than mine. But the techniques do work, and I really believe that if you give them some practice, you can make it work for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive in now to the tips and tricks that I'm showing you for winged hooded eyeliner. So let's jump right in. I'm super excited to show you this today. As you can see, I don't have any other makeup on. I got a little bit of brow going, but that's about it. I figured teaching you how to do this might be easiest if I don't have on a full face of makeup, since the goal today is to strip off, when I get one eyeliner piece done, to strip it off and show you another way to do this. So I thought that might make more sense and that we could kind of follow along a little bit easier in a tutorial. So over the last couple of months, I have really been doing my best to figure out the best techniques for very hooded eyes. I talk about it a lot on my channel, but I do have very hooded eyes. I don't have just a little bit of hood. If I look directly at you into the lens, most of my lid is covered up, and not only are my eyelids hooded, but the hoods go down pretty far, which if you have hooded eyes like this, then you know it makes, I'm talking over the mirror, you know it makes winged eyeliner such a challenge. And as I've gotten older, they've just gotten a little bit more hooded. And so it's one of those things that I kind of have to just make adjustments to. So on my Instagram story over the last, I would say, month or so, my goal every day that I wear a full face of makeup has been to practice my winged liner skills. And I've been using everything from gel liner to a pen liner, or the liquid liner, I'm sorry, to a pen liner, and trying to figure out like what techniques really work the best for very hooded eyes that go all the way down. And then in that case, how can I teach this to you to make this easier for your eyes? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try a couple different techniques. I'm gonna show you my favorite ones that have been working the best for me, and then show you a couple of other techniques that work for you that you might be able to master yourself, even though I haven't really mastered them. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you wanna do is make sure that your mirror is set up and that you're looking directly in it. The biggest thing you don't want to do when you're putting on eyeliner, especially if you have hooded eyes, is to be looking downward. Like if I point this mirror up and I'm looking downward, that immediately changes how my eyes sit. And so when I look forward, that eyeliner is going to be all kinds of off. So that's the first thing. You have to make sure that you're looking directly straight into your mirror so that you see what someone else is going to see when they're looking back at you. So that's step one. Step two is to grab your liner and make that wing. And I'm going to show you two different ways with this liquid liner that you can do liquid liner and make it kind of easy and seamless for you and give you nice crisp lines that you don't have to erase with makeup remover and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and start So I'm gonna start on my right eye. This is my harder eye. This is the eye that is more hooded. This hood nearly goes down all the way when I'm looking directly at the mirror. It nearly like sits at the bottom of my top lid, if that makes sense. Over here, this one, the hood stops kind of like right in here. So I can get around that hood with a wing with no problem. This one is a challenge. So I'm gonna show you how I've been doing that. So the best method that I have found for this particular eye is to bring my mirror closer. I will zoom you in too when I edit this. And to like hold my arm so that it stays steady. I would balance my arm on my sink, like the faucet of my sink. I'd balance my arm so that it wouldn't move. That's the biggest thing. You gotta have a lot of balance so that you're making straight lines and that your hands aren't shaky. So I have found that if I'll hold my arm, that really helps. And what I will do is just look at my lid. Move this closer again. Look at my lid dead on, and I will just pull out a line just like that. Now, obviously it skipped a little bit on my skin, so I'm just gonna fix that. And then that's my wing right there. So now all I need to do is actually connect that wing to the rest of my eye, and I can finish the rest of the liner for that top lid. So what's cool is I love, and if I had makeup on, it would obviously look a lot better, but I love how just like thin and crisp and wispy that line is. And that for me is how I like to wear winged eyeliner. I don't like it to be super thick. With hooded eyes, I feel like that can kind of make them look smaller. I'll wear it sometimes and totally get Amy Winehouse, but it's usually because my liner has gotten away from me, and that's just what we end up with. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here at this point is then decide where I wanna bring that wing in at. And for me, it's gonna be just right here. And I just draw. It would help if I had a little bit more liner on that. I'm just gonna draw right over that hood. I'm gonna pretend it's not even there. And then once I do that, you can see, oh, it already looks so good. Now I wish I had makeup on and I wasn't taking this off. But then I'm just gonna color in. I already started to. Oh, I had it on my finger and I didn't know it. Hold on here. I'm just gonna color in that space now, like a coloring book. You wanna stay inside the lines with your liner. So you'll just color it in. And you can do this with the same liquid. You could use one of these pens, whatever makes sense for you to get that black, okay? For me, I just really like this liquid liner. And P.S., this is the NYX matte liquid liner. This is what I bought. I have used several high-end brands and I ran out of all of them, and I needed something to show you guys this with, so I bought this NYX one, and it works really, really great. It's kind of like a dupe of the, I believe it's the Urban Decay liquid liner, or that's what it reminds me of. Okay, so there's my wing, and honestly, that is beautiful. Now here's the cool thing. With hooded eyes, I think it's kind of cool to not take your eyeliner all the way in and close up your eye. Sometimes it's nice to just let it sit right there and make that line as thin as possible until it disappears over the eye. Again, I'm so bummed I don't have on eyeshadow right now because this eye looks stellar. Okay, so what we do is we'll just connect the line just like so. And that's probably, get my lashes out of the way. That's probably as far as I would bring it in. And it looks awesome that way, especially when you have on a full look. So that's one way to do it, and this is the way that seems to work the best for me and give me that really nice wispy line. I cut through that crease just a little bit, but it actually doesn't, like when I look down, it still looks pretty straight. You know how sometimes you'll see girls look down and they have almost like a hook with shape with their eye? It's because they have hooded eyes and they're cutting through that hood and just pretending it's not there to get that sharp edge of a line that they want on the top part of their eye. So that's kind of what you have to do with hooded eyes. You just have to know that it's not gonna be straight like someone who doesn't have hooded eyes. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is show you another technique that I do also with this liner. I think this one over here is a little bit easier, but I've done both and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at mastering both. So what I will do is go ahead and start to, if I'm gonna have liner all the way in, like from the, you know, the center part of my eye is where I start to make it get a little bit thicker and we get thicker as we go out, I'm actually gonna start there. So what I would do is I'll touch, make sure I'm looking directly straight, and at you, so both at the same time. But I'll touch my liner to my top lid. Bring that line down and around. I just kind of don't stop with it. I'm just like, whoop, and that works really, really well for the same purpose. You can see that it's very wispy there. There's a little part where I missed my skin, and I'll fix that in a second, but I'm trying to replicate what I did over here and make these two eyes look as even as possible, since again, they are uneven. So that's what I do, and then I'll just connect it. Same thing, I'm not gonna worry about that hood. If I get caught in that hood, we're just gonna slice right through it. I'm trying to keep these thin enough that I actually avoid those hoods as much as possible. I'll show you here in the next liner of how just to cut through your hood and not even worry about it if you have one. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is just bring that over right about here. And slice through, just like that, and fill it in. That is it. Awesome, right? Now here's why this one, this one I don't like as much. And I'll show you why here. I'm gonna set this down. I know you're zoomed in, but I'll move the mirror. This one, whenever I do this technique where I go over and out, I'm always getting more of a Kat Von D effect, a bigger liner. I haven't quite figured out how to make it thinner. And I love it because it's really pretty. It looks great with, like, you know, big glam looks, but this is like everyday eye over here, and that's what I prefer. But what you have here is it looks really, really straight, and then you get this wispy line, and I feel like sometimes I almost need to make this thin line thicker, and then that's where we can kind of get out of control. But the point is that both of these ways work great for liquid liner, and then you get to decide how far you want to take it in. So let me just show you what it looks like if I take that all the way in. Again, it looks better when you have on eye makeup, but this is how you can do it. So I get my brush as fine as I can possibly get it, because I don't want, when we're taking it inward, we want to keep that line as thin, thin, thin as we possibly can. This is where, it's hard to talk and do that. That's why I shut up. But this is where you want to make sure that you're getting very precise and you're being very like light-handed and feathery and thin as possible, okay? So think thin on this part. And then what you can do, as you see, I just did that. I cleaned it up. Whatever parts were kind of like jagged and sparse, I just filled them in, and so it's nice and crisp. This one looks pretty good, and this is a lot of YouTubers' mottos here on YouTube, but when your eyeliner's good, let's like, what ain't broke, don't fix it. So when it looks like this, girl, just go with it. But out of these two, this one is my favorite. This is everyday for me, and I love it. It's so beautiful. I could honestly do this, put some mascara on and definitely a little bit of foundation, and just rock no shadow with a little bit of a winged liner. I love that kind of look. This one is definitely your more like, whoa girl, I'm going a bit glam and I want a bigger wing. Okay, so that's liquid liner. Let me set that one aside, and then I'm gonna show you how to do gel liner. This one has become my least favorite over the years. Used to be my go-to was gel liner. This is gonna get everywhere. You guys are gonna love it. But I have found a technique that works pretty good, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So all you're gonna need is your gel liner. This is the Maybelline Blackest Black Gel Liner. This is probably one of my favorite liners out of all of the liners that I have used over the years that are gel. I cannot believe this one is like, this drugstore brand is so fabulous. In fact, some of the makeup artists that I follow, like it's one of their favorites as well, that use a lot of high-end products. They go back to this over and over. Okay, so my eye's gonna get a little red. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Tell you what, man, when I film videos like this and I have to remove makeup back to back, my face is like, stop what you're doing. It does not like it, even though I use very sensitive wipes. Okay, so hopefully I've got most of the blackness off. I just want to leave this one. I want to just leave, it's so pretty. Oh, can't believe I don't have an eyeshadow for that. Okay, so what you're gonna need is a My eyeball's burning, but an angled brush, something that's really small. Honestly, I wish I could use this one for you guys, because like, let me show you the difference. The red one is very thick. This is not. This is my eyebrow brush, which helps me to create those hairs for my brows. But I just like, I don't know, I don't like to use this one for liner, but it is a MAC 263. It is technically a liner brush, so you could definitely use it for that. It's a good one. This one is one from Revlon. I'll link it down below. I've had it for years. It works great, and especially for this. So we're really gonna focus now on slicing through that hood technique that we can do to get a good liner here that's kind of thick. So what you're gonna do is just open your little gel pot, dig down into it, be liberal with it. Don't be afraid of the gel liner. And we're gonna just not tap off the excess, but I always wipe off the excess on the rim of the pot. And then for me, this is just something I've done my whole life with liner. You don't have to, but I always go like that just to pull off any excess and also to make sure that the bristles are like tight and straight. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is just set that, oh, I'm looking, there we go, that's better. You're just going to set that brush at the proper angle that you want it. And then we're just gonna drag downward toward the top of the lid, okay? So here's how it looks. We set it and we drag right over the hood. Just like so. So you can see when I look dead on, that I've cut over like that hood. See how the line kind of looks jagged? We're gonna fill all that in, but that's kind of what you get. You set it and drag it. This is why I think it's hard though with gel liner, because I think drag is what can cause it to look like very sparse and almost chunky in certain spots and then not filled in other spots. So that's why I've kind of gotten away from this technique. It's just been a preference. I think liquid liner just goes a lot smoother. So again, that's just my opinion, but it still works great. If you don't have a lot of drag, for me, I have like a lot of wrinkles in my eyes and just so things get caught. So if you don't have that, you should be okay using this type of technique and it should work just fine. But for me, I just noticed that I just feel like it catches a lot and I'm constantly have to go back in and fix little ticks that I've made, and that's just, liner should not take 15 or 20 minutes to do for yourself. It just shouldn't. Okay, so what you wanna do at this point is just fill in everything, and I'm gonna look dead on actually and fill this in. I did create a really nice wing, so I'm proud, because this can be a crapshoot for me. And you can, at this point, you can kind of pick up your brow a little bit. You can kind of fill it in. You just want to stay within the lines that you've made. And the other thing you can do here too, which I've done, is taken a pen and color it in. So that it's nice and filled in and it's dark. And then you would do the same thing here. You would just decide how far you want to go in with the rest of your liner. For me, I do the same thing. If I do this, I'm gonna fade it in nicely. So I'll just touch the top of my lash line. And drag that color in. And then I'll fill it in. For me, I like to fill it in with a pen. And then boom, that's what you have. So now again, you see the liquid liner and you see this one. To me, I think this is what's funny. I think the right eye looks less heavy than the left eye. And this is the heavier eye. And it's just because there's so much black liner out here and we had to cut through that hood. So when I look down, I'm trying to figure out how to do this so you can see it. When I look down, it's like, here's the straight line and then it kind of hooks. It's because I cut through that hood. So that's what you'll have when you get done. And again, you can do this same technique with a liquid liner. You could start it up and then you could make the wing go up that high. Just know you're gonna have that hook. I kind of like it, it looks cool. I think when I see someone look down and I see that their hook is like perfectly, I don't know, just the straight, like intense lines. I like that. But for everyday, I really like this. I just think it looks nice, it looks pretty, it's wispy, it's not too much. It's not quite Amy Winehouse. So, and that's usually when I get a little carried away. That's how I end up with Amy Winehouse eyes. Her liner was always so cool, but for hooded eyes, it can just really be too much. So I hope this helps you out so very much and that you kind of enjoyed seeing some different techniques on how to do winged eyeliner for very hooded eyes. Let me know down in the comments if you have a simpler way of doing this, if there's another technique that you like or another product that you like. I would love to hear from you down in the comments. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do that now so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And of course, connect with me on social media. It is my favorite way to get to know you better. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video. #ReformTomboyFamily. I'll see you soon.